Hey viewers, welcome to another game of Casual Pro Gamer. Today we have another Smite match here, and this is a solo ranked random team thingy blah blah blah. So it's all random people solo queuing in ranked, and we have only one famous person, that is Mr. Zapman over here. There you go, Root Zapman. We are not going to follow him though. We are going to follow someone on this team. Yeah, here. Mr. Nasha! Nasha is one of the, well, children of this game. He is, well, he's a little boy and he has cool roller skates. No, for the rest, I don't really know a whole lot about him. I know he's an Asian god, a Chinese god, in fact. And in mythology, he had a bit of a quarrel, let's call it that, with the dragons, so Ao Kuang and his family. And he actually killed the son of Ao Kuang, if I'm correct. And then he committed suicide later because, well, blah blah. I don't really remember. And I'm going to get my ass kicked if I tell this story wrong. So anyhow, it's something like that, but it really doesn't matter for what he does. He's a very strong champion. He is one of the two most banned champions at the moment. It is Isis and Naja who lead that, well, that list. And I don't know which one is the most banned, but both of them are super overpowered. It is therefore, well, kind of nice to watch a game with him. Unfortunately, today was of course a patch day. Because every day is a patch day nowadays. So someone sent me 2 games that I should do, so I thought I would immediately get on that. But instead of being able to do so, we actually, oh, and the buff does go to Naja. There was a little bit of an invade coming in from Sri Lanka. But anyway, yeah, the thing is that every patch day they wipe the entire server of every recorded game there is. So yeah, I couldn't watch them anymore, which kinda sucked. Well, not kinda sucked, it sucked very hard. And well, that is just the way it is sometimes. And so if you're wondering why is he going all jungle, that's because nowadays, since the latest patch, that's not today's patch, but the last real patch, which is last week, you actually have a jungler now in the game. Well, you have the ability to jungle because they made a new item, and I will show it to you. Already showed it in the last one. Boomba's Mask. And Boomba's Mask gives you extra gold, extra experience. The gold is a little bit too high in my opinion. 25% is a little bit too much, but the experience is spot on. It allows you to do very well without being in the lane. And is he going to take this camp? Oh, he does take the camp. He healed up because of the Boomba as well. Yeah, that was very close to him dying, but yeah, well, he did survive, so that's good. Yeah, as you can see, he's now at the number 2 spot in his team. He was at the number 1 spot, but yeah, because of this kill, actually the Hebo got 300 more gold. And yeah, surpassed him. So anyway, the Boomba's Mask, yeah, it is very good. It's a little bit too powerful at the moment, I think, in gold wise, but it is very good to have, and you can definitely, well, apply some jungle pressure with this. Of course, the reason they wanted a jungler in the, well, in this game, and they want a jungler in any kind of these games, is because they want someone to be off the map, so not in lane and able to gank, because a game like this without ganking, so without the possibility of ganking, would be, yeah, very boring, not only to play but mostly to watch, because nothing will happen except that yeah, someone will build up a small advantage at some point. So they will build up a little bit of an advantage in the laning amount they do, and then with that little advantage they will actually be able to yeah, just own the opponents at some point. But it takes a long time then, whereas if you have a jungler or someone who ganks in general, that is not so much the case. You can just come in from the side and just double the lane occupancy in, for example, mid lane. And then it's 2 versus 1, or, well, in the side lanes, 3 versus 2. And that can make a big difference. We are coming in here to gank, and are we going to be able to land this? The stun goes off, a very easy kill, and the Odin actually survives. So Odin has that 1 versus 2 lane, and we are going to do some damage, but not enough to actually, well, scare him. Obviously, you can see that he dashes back to his old position there. So once you use your ultimate, you dash back. Afterwards, you dash back to your old position, which makes it possible for you to run away. But it is kind of sucky in these kind of cases where you want to chase, because then you get teleported back to where you came from, and you really don't want to be there. You want to be on top of your opponent so that you can do that last hit. But yeah, well, the ultimate would be more powerful then, but then again, in this case, you would be able to escape. So yeah, I guess there's something to be said for both of those things. It's just that, yeah, normally you want this ultimate, of course, to be used as an attack thing, not as a defensive thing. But, well, sometimes you want to run away, but then you are not going to hit any of your opponents. So it doesn't really matter whether you teleport back or not. But it is made, I think, to prevent retaliation and to prevent people from knowing exactly where you are when you come down. And yeah, it works as such, but it is not, yeah, it is not the best thing for Najat to have. Obviously, he would like to be right on top of his opponent and do some extra damage once he comes out of that ultimate. So as you can see, there are plenty of kills to be had here. It is currently 3 to 4. Lots of kills going down. But, well, I just wanted to show the jungler here. Because, well, at the moment he's just farming and farming and farming. He's getting all kinds of buffs, which really helps him out. But in the end, he will need to go into a lane to actually gank. And that is when it becomes interesting. Obviously, we see some Najahs ganking really early on. We already saw him gank once, of course, in the left lane, but yeah, that's only once. And yeah, sorry, that was that was his left lane. Yeah, okay, no, it was true. It was the left lane. But anyway, yeah, we see some Najahs gank very often, and so jungle Najahs very often and very early in the game, but this one really is more based on just farming and getting an advantage and using that advantage in lane. You can see now he's still at the number 2 spot. He has 1 kill. The what's his face? Hebo has 2 kills, and Zapman actually in a little bit of trouble here. Oh, the stun completely missing, and there was the ultimate as a defensive use. As you can see, he didn't hit anyone, so that means that he actually just dashes away, and whatever happens at the end of the ultimate doesn't really matter. So he's not going to be teleported back to the beginning, obviously. But yeah, I guess it's just a method of preventing retaliation, and well, it works for that. It's just not the most useful thing to have. Anyhow, we are going for the red buff. Poseidon, in the meantime, is coming in from behind here. Oh, he's not coming in from behind. He just wanted to, but he apparently could not make it work, or didn't want to in the end. He probably heard the Najah though. Najah is pretty easy to hear through the walls. You can hear everyone, but you can only hear them when they have a skill going. So once they have a skill, he gets, wow, he got stunned there. That never happens to the pros normally. This is of course a high level game, so well, the fact that Zapman is here kind of tells you that. Zapman is of course one of the best players in the world, and that's exactly why you would expect that. So the nice ultimate there from Odin, making sure that the Najah is safe, and they should be able to pick up this kill However, we are going to get tossed in the air, and oh, that was too early. But he does get the kill. Yeah, he landed that too early because, yeah, the ultimate wasn't done yet, so he's not going to get stunned. And Najao now took the damage from that ultimate. The ultimate, of course, the ultimate from Sobek, triggers right at the last frame, so once he comes back up. And at that moment you take damage. And yeah, you don't want to take that damage normally, but of course he wanted to prevent Odin from, or sorry, Sobek from dashing out or something like that. Or maybe it even does damage, I don't actually know. I didn't think the stun did damage, but maybe it does a little bit of damage. And he just wanted that little bit of damage on. But yeah, the Sobek of course does have a dash, and well, he could have wanted to prevent that, but it really doesn't prevent it, because Sobek's not going to get stunned. He is still able to use his dash straight from his ultimate, and therefore, yeah, I don't really understand. Anyhow, we are going to, what, blink through this? No, he doesn't have blink. But he is going to, oh, miss the stun and miss the ring toss. Ring toss is your main thing to have here. It is your main ability to use in the jungle, and of course that that fire thingy, fire lance or something like that, is also pretty useful. It's going to land a little bit of damage here and is not going to stay alive, unfortunately. So he does die. He did get some nice damage off, but it was not good enough. The Hades not really able to do anything either. But, well, they already picked up a kill. So it is a 1-for-1 trade in the end. His right side laners, or his right, yeah, well, his right laners. They came in, they grabbed the kill on the Fenrir. And yeah, that was it. That was all they needed to do to make this worth it, because it's an assisted kill for an unassisted kill, and that's exactly, well, good enough. That's the minimum advantage you can get out of a kill, but it is good enough. So let's go back to him, and yeah, he's already back in the jungle, not having any actives to help him with this farm, by the way. Just wanted to point that out, because well, if you go for an active, for example on Naja, it would be very useful to have Hand of the Gods. And not because Hand of the Gods helps him with jungling a lot, because it only helps in the early game. In the late game, yeah, you can pretty much one-shot the minions. So it doesn't really matter. But for the late game, you get the stun of that, and that means that you can do a whole lot more with your current abilities. And because of that, you can actually land some nice crap. Wow, completely missing there. Was that his ultimate? Yeah, I think it was. I don't really understand what he was trying to do, but hey, whatever. Whatever floats your boats. Yeah, he did attempt to do something there, but it wasn't going to work. And we are instead just picking up our minions. Yeah, we're going to left lane now. There's really nothing left in the jungle. There's a little bit, I guess, left for Fenrir, who is the enemy jungler. But yeah, it's just a speed buff, and yeah, it's a little bit of gold, obviously, which is useful, but it's not super useful. And we are going to attempt to grab this guy, but no, he's too flexible to catch, too mobile, I should say, to catch. And well, we saw him just dash out, dash after dash, and yeah, that's how he's played. So not a whole lot of surprise there. So we are going to the gold camp then, and after the gold camp, it is one more gold camp, and then the jungle is empty again. But he is going to help out mid lane here, and this is when it becomes more interesting, because, well, with the jungle being at very low, well, amounts of gold, he needs to just do something useful. I don't know what he was trying to find, because there was nothing there. And, well, maybe he couldn't see that on the minimap. Maybe someone stole that buff, and yeah, he couldn't see that. I don't know. For us, it was pretty clear that there was nothing there. Oh, Anhur gets sniped there. So we are currently 3-1, doing pretty well. The Hebo is 5-5. That's also a pretty nice score. And then a 2-1 for Anhur, which is also a pretty nice score. So the enemy team then, Fenrir's 4-2. That's a very nice score. 3-2 on the Poseidon, and he is doing quite well actually. 4 assists in addition to that, and that is pretty impressive because he was the mid laner, and getting assists and kills as the mid laner is not only crucial, it's also very difficult, because normally, well, we don't really see that. We don't see a lot of kills or assists on the mid laners, because normally they just stay in their lane, farm all day, and then once they get ganked, they either die or get a kill. But yeah, well, most of the time they just die. We do have Fenrir coming in, and Doggy is going to try to steal something. We do land the stun there, but the beats go off, and he is going to be fine. Ultimate goes off here from Naja. And is it going to be enough to do anything? Well, they do manage to pick up a 1-for-1 trade there. Fenrir dies, but Najat dies as well. The rest of the team is here to help out, and we are going to fight at 2 different spots. First of all, here it's a 3 versus 1 against this Poseidon, and Poseidon might actually still get out of that. And then on the other side, hang on, well, we just rewound in case you're wondering. I wanted to follow this fight as well. The Anhur was actually 1 versus 2, but he is going to pick up a kill very easily, and not even getting any retaliation on him, because Shibalanke couldn't really reach, and Shibalanke of course ran all the way around and couldn't really make it work at all. So yeah, then the left lane is now occupied by 3 versus 2. That is our left lane. On the minimap that would be the right lane. Also, we are in the top of the map, and in the right in the minimap it shows as the bottom side of the map. But that is of course because the minimap doesn't actually transfer if we switch the viewpoint. It is kind of hard to deal with, but well, that's because the map is symmetrical. It becomes very hard to actually keep track of where you are and well, where you're supposed to go. Oh, by the way, for those of you interested, the speed up now, so instead of this speed you can get this speed. That is now done with the shift key, so if you hold shift and steer, you get the high speed. If you release it, then it will go back to the low. So they basically only made 2 versions now. You can't scroll anymore between the, well, the low and high speed. It doesn't really matter. It's the high speed is mainly used for, well, just getting into a lane. So getting into a lane quickly, and well, once you're in that lane, then you're going to use the slow speed anyway. So it doesn't really matter. Anyhow, we do have a little bit of a fight going off over here. It is a 3 versus 2 fight. The Fenrir ultimate goes down, and then Bacchus comes in. He is going to land some stuns, and let's see if we can do anything. Naja goes down again. Started off 3-1, is now 3-3. Couldn't really make it work for the later parts of the game. And we are going to just, well, I guess, well, hang with these guys. Let's just do that. No, I should really switch to someone else. Let's switch to, come on, space work. Let's go to this guy. So Anhur, of course, one of the best champions from the early part of this game, before there were too many heroes out. Nowadays he's still very good, but he's not played very much anymore because, well, Neith, for example, is better than this guy. In this match, however, Neith got banned, and yeah, this guy is still pretty good, so why not pick him? It used to be like Anhur and Cupid, who were the 2 well, ranged physical damage dealers of choice, and nowadays I guess that's Neith, and I don't know who the second one would be. There are so many of them. They all have their own, well, good things and their own bad things. The advantage of Anhur is, of course, he has an escape, he has a stun, he has a slow, he has knockback, and all in all, that is just a huge amount of goodies for someone who's a ranged physical carry. And normally we see on ranged physical carries that they can't really do a whole lot. So they can't really do anything except for damage. And that is why it's mostly based on utility, the picks. I mean, most of them do similar damage. And Cupid, by the way, is still reasonable. But because he lost his, well, most of the ability on his Q, and then his ultimate got nerfed first and then buffed, people no longer really like it. Because, well, the... oh, I forgot what it's called. The Cripple. The Cripple is very strong. But the Cripple is not, like, the best skill to have on a ranged AD carry. Sorry, not AD. Physical damage. PD. Yeah, the physical carries are normally all about the damage, and, well, they do similar damage. Every one of them does about the same amount of damage. It's just a utility that is different, and of course you would rather have someone with an escape than someone who doesn't have an escape. And yeah, well, of the strong ones, every one of them has an escape. We have, well, a nice stun there by Anhur. It's really annoying that I get blocked by these trees all the time. It makes that we can't really see it. And yes, that was a gold Kraken. The Sidon player does have the gold skin, which is a skin that you get for free once you reach level 30 on